What's up, guys? I already know who it is. Target individual CJBK. You know, as you can see, I'm in my bedroom, right? I'm in my bedroom, and I woke up from I guess basically a nap somewhere around like 11, and I had all this like this. It wasn't like a painful pressure, but I know the pressure was coming from just the radiation from being connected to their cloud, and um, what else? Um, there was a it's like a magnetic pressure that's like built up within your the skull basically, and I remember I went to the store and I bought um, some copper wire, some alligator clams. I've been meaning to get that stuff for a long time. And now as I'm speaking, I feel like almost as if like it's like if someone were to take a like energy, if someone would have taken a direct energy weapon and shot it right at a specific part of my head, it's like here. It's mild to moderate. I mean, I have a high pain tolerance, so it's kind of like you know, for me, it feels like a 5 or 6, but for some people, it might feel higher. And it's right here. Should I put the light on? Let me put the light on. Give me a second. Okay. So, yeah. So I felt feeling attack here, right? Now, before I got to the point where I'm standing on my bed, I had woke up and I knew I had already created a repelling magnetic wand using Neodymium Magnets. I'll show you an example. Let's see. Right. So this is one example. I think I only used probably like 10 Neodymium Magnets. Where's my other one? Oh, there we go. So this is what the neodymium magnets look like that I'm using, right? Extremely powerful stuff, right? That, okay? Neodymium magnets. What I had started off doing in the very beginning when I bought these magnets, I used the magnets to basically go around the skull to pick up, magnetic, energy, right? So I would just go real slow. Started out going real slow. And then at some point, the magnet itself will consume so much energy that's being directed at you that it gets stronger. Like the pull itself gets stronger, right? And I could feel it building up now. Like I have tension in my fingers, my index finger and my thumb. So as I'm holding the magnet, I could feel the tension building, especially right here. And it's all on one end. And then it feels like it's being forced to turn into a certain direction, right? And then the more you maneuver it, you feel the gravitational pull even harder. Remember, neodymium magnets are like some of the most powerful earth, magnets, right? So at this point, the neodymium magnet, it has a particular pole going in. So you can see as I loosen my grip, it starts to change or turn on its own, right? And then it's even slipping out of my hand. I don't know if you could see it. So now you can tell by my fingers that I'm holding it, right? Now I'm going to try to maintain my grip, but as I try to squeeze harder, it's going to get heavier. And as it gets heavier, you could tell I have tension in my fingers. But as it gets pulled even harder, you're going to see the magnet itself pull even more closer, like as if something is pushing it down. Right? So I can feel it pushing down. Now pay attention to the placement of where my index finger is at. Also, now that I'm recording, they're going to try to reduce it. Pay attention to where my index finger is at. Now I'm not loosening my fingers. I'm really not. I'll even squeeze tighter. The harder that you hold the magnets, the more the magnet will basically feel like it's being forced downward. Right? Now, there's the ceiling. Right? Now the phone itself is feeling heavier. That's how you know that's directed energy. The source, I can't confirm the source, but I know it's coming from up. And I can't believe our government is acting like they don't know what Havana syndrome is, where it's coming from, who's doing it. And I'm like, all I am is just I'm just a guy from Brooklyn. I don't know nothing about physics. I don't know nothing about technology. But with the power of YouTube. Okay, so my shoulder got tired. So now, yeah, so it's definitely being pushed down because I can feel the weight of the magnet being pulled down. Right? Now, I'm just set that right there. Now, this is what I did to basically take the same type of magnets, but I repelled them. I put them together while they're repelled, right? And because neodymium magnets are so powerful, I basically used, a branch from, a tree or whatever, and I just like stuck it through the hole, and then, when I finished getting the amount of magnets that I want together, you can see that, they're still trying to repel, they're still trying to push each other apart. I basically use some masking tape. Don't use electrical tape or scotch tape. I don't think any of them. Well, I think the electrical tape might disturb it somehow. Whatever the case may be. But masking tape. That's what Tony Pantalaresco uses in his video. Herbs Beads Works. That's the name of his YouTube channel. At least his old one. He has another one named Arroy Mock or something like that. ARROYMAK. I think that's his YouTube channel. And he uses like 20, you know, magnets, but not neodymium, because neodymium would just be entirely too powerful to, you know, not 20 of them to be there. If I use 20, if I could get like something to actually hold it stable, hold it in place long enough, 20 magnets would probably create one hell of a magnetic force field. Because when you put you know, combine them together like that, you know, it creates a force field. But I'm pretty sure this is only creating a small range force field. So like if I put it right above my, so your what I've learned is that the handlers, they basically are directing a beam that goes straight through the top of the crown, and it has like a lock on your pineal gland. One of the reasons why they use the pineal gland, because the pineal gland monitors a numerous amount of hormones in your body, and that definitely regulates your sleep and your ability to, well, relax, stay calm, things of that sort. Because remember, you gotta remember, a lot of this is dealing with the spirit of fear. So they have to, you know, they have to be able to create in a situation for themselves where they can have the utmost opportunity to induce fear in people. And one of the best ways to do it is to have control of your pineal gland. So then when they send in the frequencies into your brain, if your mind is untrained and you don't have that strength, that flex strength, and flex strength, I realize, okay, you know, when you're trying to read in like a public surrounding, and you know it's kind of noisy, so you have to focus a little bit, and it's almost like, it's like, you know, you're it's almost as if like you're trying to block out the noise, and you're just focusing your mind on one thing. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like you're basically flexing something within your brain. You're flexing something, you're forcing something to close, right? Um yeah, so that's what I learned about a way to kind of block the incoming of frequencies, right? Now, something else I learned earlier today, pretty much everything that I learned is pretty much by accident. I just do what feels right. If it feels right, then it must be right. If it feels like it makes things worse, then, you know, maybe it doesn't work. And then also on top of that, I get V2K, so I hear every response that they have. Mine V2K is not really a chat box. It's literally like a live communication back and forth with whoever, wherever they are. I mean, my perps, they're somewhere in the Bronx, because that's where my heterodyne began, over there. Um, and what you call it? So, but yeah, they're like a secret society of gang stalkers. So they got connections all over the city, probably all over the country, whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, so and you know, and I try not to let it get to me, because I'm like, I've lived in this area for like half my life, and I'm just like, I never done nothing wrong to these people. So I'm just like, I don't know, why would they go along with doing this to me? But yeah, it doesn't matter. So now, what I learned by accident today, I knew that this creates a force field, and I always kind of knew that, like, okay, one thing I think all of us need to understand is that our body is a conductor of, you know, electricity. You know, just like our heart and our brain produces a natural electricity. We have the biological field, then you have the neurological field. You have two different, you know, fields of energy. You know, one from the head, one from the body, because, you know, the heart chakra. Then you have your crown chakra, right? Now, what I learned over time is that there is like, when you become a target individual of electronic harassment, and they're using the technology to basically try to gain function over your central nervous system. I realize there is a film. It's like you can't see it, of course you can't taste it, but there is a film of frequencies or energy, and you can almost hear the change. You can almost hear it. Here, I'll put this down, right? You can almost hear the change. Pay attention. You have to pay attention to your body. That's one of the best things you can do when you're a target individual, experiencing electronic harassment. You have to pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your body. If you touch your skin and you hear something tuned, you hear a different tune in your head, like I already learned that from, just putting by wearing earphones, or not earphones, but earplugs. Where are you? But so by wearing earplugs, right? So by wearing earplugs, I've learned to tell the difference between what is bone conducted sound, or auditory cortex stimulation, and then sound that literally just comes through that sound that literally comes through the ear canal. um I always suggest everybody to at least, like, don't do it outside. You want to be on your P's and Q's at all times when you're outside. But I mean, you could take a chance. I mean, I doubt anything's really gonna happen to you that, in that manner like that. Because remember, they got to be covert, unless you know, unless everybody surrounds you in a circle or something, and then they do something in that manner. But more than likely, they're not gonna do nothing out in the open. Wear one earphone, wear an earplug, wear one earplug, right, and then leave the other ear open. You can hear, well, I can hear the sound of a wave, and it's kind of going. I know it sounds weird, but if you understand how microwave frequencies work, and I'm gonna add a picture of what microwave frequencies going in through the skull looks like, in comparison to sound, going like actual sound, audio sound going through the ear. Yeah, I'll add that picture to this video. Right, so I can tell the difference between a microwave frequency going through the skull and stimulating the auditory cortex. And then I also realized that if I wear a hat, this is not an EMF protecting hat. I know people wonder, what is that hat he got? Is it EMF protecting? No, it's not an EMF protecting hat. It literally is a hat that basically it helps me identify the spots of stimulation that's going on throughout my brain. So it's like there's like, okay, so here you have the memory processing um, area of the brain, right? You got your frontal lobes up here. Memory processing is over here, right? There's a lot of warmth over here. Then you have a little up, you have your auditory cortex right up here. Then somewhere, I think somewhere around here, you have the somatosensory cortex. That's everything from your eyes, arms, like there's a number of different things that the somatosensory cortex um, has a connection to, right? And back here, this is their favorite part because it actually spans from one side of the head all the way across to the other, and you can almost feel the heat of the magnetic energy beam that's stimulating that part of your brain, and that is your cerebellum, aka your visual cortex, right? That's the part of your brain that basically, receives the light through your eyes, and then it shows that it shows that images and whatever. And then I don't really remember how to explain it, but yeah, this is your visual cortex. It's like, let me see. Yeah, it's all the way back here. It starts from one side and it comes all the way across. And where my fingers are going, that's literally like almost like a straight line going across the cerebellum. What else? Now, okay, what I learned today, because it was my first day back at work, and while I was away at work, I was going through a lot of I was going through a lot of directed energy attacks and frequency manipulations, and my mom, she being attacked by frequencies, and my sister, she doesn't want to believe in much of that stuff, and I'm just like, I'm telling you, but I can't. You can't force nobody to believe information that seems. You can't force nobody to believe none of this. You just have to let them come to it on their own. So now, these are my carry on. Chiorine, I think. Chiorine Graphene Gloves by, I believe, the who's the maker? Armor Bros, something like that. Well, armorbros.com. But yeah, it's Kyorene, right? The material on the front is basically graphene, right? Now I know everybody, has their skepticism because they, heard stuff about like, oh, graphene is supposed to be bad for you. It's in the vaccine, blah blah. Man, forget all that. Graphene is a superconductor of energy, right? Now, the moment I put these gloves on, I can already feel the difference of, like, I guess the frequencies or the energy. I can already feel the difference in my hand. If I make a fist, it basically works as like well, it's basically dispersing energy in my hand, like literally, like it's dispersing energy in my hand. Right now, if I hold this magnet, right, if I hold this wand like this, I could feel, how do I describe it? It's like feeling, oh, I also got my feet on the metal portion of my bed frame. But so just by holding the wand like this, I could feel a pulse. There's like not my actual pulse, but it's like pulsing energy or frequency, right? And it's like going through the magnet. Today, while I was at work, I got the idea to, if you've seen the video from earlier, I put it inside my glove where it makes contact with my skin. And then I squeezed. That in itself, it increased that pulsing feeling. But when I did that, it was like feeling like pressure slowly decreasing in my head everything decreasing, everything going down. Everything's just going down. I was just like, oh. I was like, what? I was like, oh. Like right now, it just feels like something draining, not like something physically draining from your body, but it's just like feeling like I don't know, because remember the body is only meant to absorb but so much energy. But when you're being electronically harassed and they got this these energy beams folk like locked in on you, and they're basically overloading your system with energy, and then your nervous system is what's really being attacked the most. When I did this and I'm just walking around, I'm just like, everything is just coming down. It's just coming down. Now, that's one thing, right? So back to tonight. Oh my goodness, I literally have to be up for work in like an hour and 29 minutes. Oh, but y'all already know what sleep deprivation feels like, so it is what it is. Now, tonight, I woke up and just got this idea, right? So I have another one. And remember, I told you I have copper wire. So I have another one, right? And I wrapped it with copper wire. And then I took the alligator clamp. I wrapped the copper wire around the alligator clamp. And then I said, well, I wonder what happens if, because, my bed, of course, if you have a metal spring bed, then your bed is basically conducting, or it's holding in the radiation from, well, the energy being beamed down on you. And if you, basically have gang stalkers all around you, that's basically triangulating your existence, and they're trying to focus energy on you. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you my EMF reading, shortly after this video, or maybe I might just do it in between or something like that. I took this. I just took like a wine opener, right? Clipped it to the wine opener, put it to that. Now this, right? Let me see. Can you see it? Right. So this is copper sheet. Right. This is copper sheet. I just put it there. I was thinking at some point, in the past that maybe that might help or something, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. But I just got the idea to just put that there, right? And then tonight, I just said, what if I put that wand there, and then I just kind of sit down, and then next thing you know, I said, wait, and then it dawned on me. I was like, I think I just grounded my mattress. Because remember, it has metal springs in it, right? But if you put a copper sheet under the metal springs, it's basically the copper is conducting the energy that's being stored in the metal. But then if you have that wand, at least this is how I'm thinking, right? If you have that wand and then it's wrapped around more copper wire, and then the copper wire is connected to a metal that's separate from the bed and not necessarily touching the not necessarily touching the bed, I feel like it's grounding the mattress. Now, here's what I'm gonna show you. I'm not afraid of meeting confrontation face to face. Fear is a natural, they're too loud. Fear is a natural emotion to feel. It's okay to feel fear. Anybody in the military would tell you, whatchamacallit, there's nothing wrong with being, having fear or being scared or anything like that. But it's how you approach it, it's how you control it. Fear is a natural response to somebody trying to kill you. Do not allow fear and pain to control your life. They're all very natural things that we're supposed to experience, especially while we're in these flesh body vessels. But you are never supposed to let it control you. It's okay for you to acknowledge it, but never let it control you. Um, and never let nobody else try to, control you. This is why we're all in the situation as it is, because a lot of people had fear against something they knew nothing of, so they just went along with it. I get it. It's scary when you think about someone being able to, transmit their voice, or a bot, or chatbot, whatever the case, transmit, audio frequencies into your mind, and you're just like, what? You don't hear that? But it's only just you. It's technology, and humans have known for centuries. That's why it's in the Bible that, the fallen angels would come upon the world and have all these different advanced things that they will try to teach other humans to do to basically coerce and divide each other, because, well, the fallen angels are trying to see if they can still defeat God in some way, or if they can't defeat God, in the arm, in His army, then it's kind of like they're basically just like, well, if we can't defeat you, then we'll just, help destroy your creation by teaching them all these different divisive ways on how to manipulate and control them, and then also teaching them how to manipulate and control others, which basically just ends up destroying everybody anyway. But yeah. So yeah, for the most part, oh, it's hot. Golly, cause like I try to keep in mind that, like, if I keep the window closed, there's less of that, the chemtrails and stuff getting in the house, because they're spraying aerosol, nanoparticles, in the air and stuff like that. Most of these clouds that we see, they're not real clouds. I think most people should know that by now. But it explains why there's so many, birds and bees, and whatchamacallit, it explains a lot. It explains a lot about why there's so many animal deaths and trees dying, and why it's getting even hotter. And the scientists, they say, well, we're spraying these particles in the air so that we can deflect some of the sun's UV rays. But it's like, them particles come down. They don't just stay in the air, they come down. They come down, and then we breathe it in, which basically makes us even more conductive. Ding! And then, when you think about it, all these nano metal particles that we're breathing in, and then it's getting in the water supply, it's getting in our food, you ought to wonder why we feel even more magnetic. A lot of TIs, they complain about, like, this pressure in their head. A lot of metal in their, they feel like this magnetic pressure in their head. Like right now, they're hitting me right here, and they're feeling some type of way. So, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, The most important thing, ooh, is that for me? I know they've been talking about trying to set me up for a long time. I don't know. We'll see. My window isn't close to the street at all, really. Like I'm on like the farthest end of my building. You know, my mother and I, we already know all types of people are coming after us. You know, she got her thing. With she got her decades worth of being harassed by her former employer. Me, I'm just now realizing that and I got a thought about an ex, but I was like, you know what, that's a rabbit hole. I'm not even going to jump down because I'm like, that's deep for me to think. Because I thought my targeting started in 2019 when I moved into that building in the Bronx. But you know what, it, it might have started longer than that. I have no idea. But anyway, um, yeah. So like I said, definitely try these things out that I've done and see if it works for you. Um, I can't make short videos for nothing. All my videos are long. All my videos are long, but I always feel like, it's because I like when I'm focused on things, I can be a very detailed person. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking, it's probably a good thing that it is long. I mean, anyway, um, I don't know. Maybe I might try to at least lay down and nap for about an hour. It's 1:18. My alarm clock's gonna go off at 2:30, and I'm just like, oh, I still feel tired, but you know what? God, either God woke me up or they woke me up, whatever the case. But for whatever reason, I woke up and I got the thought to put that, that wand on top of that cover sheet, and then I could feel it. They turned it back on, so that's probably what it is. They turned it back on, so now it's coming back down again. Um. Oh, and something else. Um. Amplifiers. Amplifiers usually weigh somewhere around 40 to 60 pounds, right? If you live in an apartment building, I want you to think about this. When you hear certain noise campaigns or you hear certain sounds coming up from above you, pay attention to the weight of the thing being placed above your head and then the sound, especially when they're dragging it, especially if it has like, so an amp usually has like rubber, rubber feet, on the four corners of it, right? So when they drag it across, you can hear the weight of it, and then you can hear the weight of it being dragged, and you can hear the solidness of when it's placed down. And they always place it right above you. It's always right above you. And then, my perps, they got sloppy. So, I even heard the cables dragged across the floor. And it's not like they're up there playing like guitar or anything like that. I've definitely, it's funny that I mentioned guitar because in my sister's apartment in the Bronx, her neighbors upstairs, they used to, I used to hear them practicing the guitar or whatever. But then when I would come over there, I remember hearing them. I was going, while they were directing their attacks at me, and then I think at one point I was trying to sleep on the couch, and then I could hear the dude yelling, because the window was open. It was like during the summertime of like 2021, I think, and I could hear the dude yelling. He's like, "Yeah, you're not going to sleep. Da, 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 da. You're not going to sleep." I remember everything. It's trauma. So of course you remember trauma. You know. Anyway. Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna try to see if I can get a nap. I need to open this window. It's hot. But anyway. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.